Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today I need to overanalyze. I don't need to. I feel compelled to overanalyze a clip of the governing body member Jeffrey Jackson having a Freudian slip and asking a question that's on everyone's mind.
We might ask ourselves the question, why has the governing body spent millions of dollars on preparing this good news according to Jesus?
Quickly, before we do get into it though, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps us get out to more people on YouTube and is very much appreciated. I have a goal of reaching 45,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could help me reach that goal, it would be very much appreciated. With all of that being said, let's do this. So if you've ever been to a convention of Jehovah's Witnesses, you'll be familiar with this event that takes place when a speaker will use a particular type of cadence and modulation in order to stimulate everyone in the audience to simultaneously start clapping. It is like, don't we appreciate this information? And then everyone will just, thunderous applause goes up. Now, this formula is dialed up to 1,000 whenever it's a governing body member. He could get up there, sneeze, wipe his nose, spout off a bunch of gobbledygook and say, I ate breakfast this morning and took a poop. And people would be like, oh yeah, poop, woo, poop, the governing poop. They can do anything and they will get the audience to erupt into clapping or laughter. I think it's nervous laughter more than anything else. Now, here we have Jeffrey Jackson, a member of the governing body, in what I think I might have the old tinfoil hat on here, so maybe I should go get the old tinfoil hat. I might be the crazy one. I might be off my rocker, drinking some stupid juice. But to me, and how I'm hearing this, he is looking for some type of audience participation via smacking their hands together. And I don't think he's going to quite get it. Let me know what you think about this, but we'll run through the clip here and then we'll go a little bit further and I'll see why I think this is confirmation that he didn't get the clap that he was initially looking for. I guess this is like Clapgate Part 2 maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we won't get too far into the lore and into the weeds. Let's listen to Jeffrey Jackson make a fool of himself.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
Why has the governing body spent millions of dollars on preparing this good news according to Jesus? Do you know the answer? I think you know the answer, don't you? It's a fantastic way to help us to learn more about Jesus and the love Jehovah has shown through Jesus. And just looking at it, it helps us, stimulates our thinking. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You know, like when we looked at the woman, the Samaritan woman there.
People are asking this question because the Jesus drama is terrible. And I've been struggling throughout, if you've kept up with any of those videos, I know not that many people even care about the Jesus drama because they are so boring. But if you've kept up with my series on them, they are frustratingly boring. And I've been really struggling to figure out exactly why. Like, what is it that makes it just so terrible? And it finally clicked in my head. And I even, in the last video, I made a joke about how the governing body managed to produce something that was more boring than reading the Bible, which is an accomplishment. But I finally figured it out. So imagine a book series like Harry Potter. How long would it take you to read all of the Harry Potters? I guess I could look it up. So the internet tells me that it will take an average reader about 72 hours to read all of the Harry Potter books. How long would it take you to watch all of the Harry Potter films? What is there? 8 of them? 16 hours? So you would spend more time reading the books because there's so much more detail. They're richer, they're fuller, there's more character development. But in a medium like a movie, the audience doesn't have the patience to sit there and go through 72 hours worth of film, so you have to condense it. You got to make some edits, you got to make some cuts. because you have to keep people engaged in what's going on screen. And you just simply cannot do that with having everything laid out as it is in the books. And everyone knows this. Whatever, pick a book, pick a genre, whatever it is, there's always more detail. There's always more in the actual book than there is of the film. Watchtower has managed to turn this well-known formula on its head. And they have said, we're going to take the gospel accounts, which even if you read all of them, it would only take you about 5 hours, I reckon. But there would be so much overlap. You'd be reading the same stories over and over again. But even if we're generous, it would take 5 hours. How many hours of movie are they producing for 5 hours of reading? 18? I think they're making 18 of these suckers. So they flipped this on their head and said, you know what? We're going to add more content time for the movie versus the book. And that is the fundamental problem with these dramas. I figured it out. That is the issue. In a medium like film, you can't be sitting there thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be faster if I just picked up the book and read it? People watch the movie so they don't have to read the book. It's so funny that they have completely missed the mark on this. And I think everyone in the audience, anyone that's watching this, is very aware that this is a train wreck. This is a tragedy. I mean, there's obviously going to be the people that are like, yeah, we love the Jesus drama. It's so great. But I promise you, there is a strong number of Jehovah's Witnesses watching there thinking to themselves, why is the organization spending all of this money for this terrible Jesus drama? But if you caught the little clip there, Jeffrey Jackson, I think, had himself a little bit of a Freudian slip, and he does it not once but twice, but we'll get into that. So let's listen again, exactly what he says.
Why has the governing body spent millions of dollars?
So he doesn't say the organization spent this money. He says the governing body, specifically. Why has the governing body spent this money? It's an interesting way to phrase that question. Maybe it's a Freudian slip. Maybe he's like, oh, oops, he wasn't meant to really say that. Or maybe he meant to. Maybe he completely meant to say that because he knows that the audience is smart enough to understand that they are the ones in control of all of the finances. It is their money. They get to say how it is spent and where it goes. And that's why I find this question that he asked the audience so fascinating. People work very hard in a difficult economy to have enough extra that they can give a few extra rupees to the organization. Because the organization is telling them, we need this money. Even though they don't. But we need this money from you. You African refugee coming into a refugee camp. We need those couple of quarters because it will help us to spread spiritual food. And then you get the spiritual food and it's covered in mold and maggots.
You see, maybe in our minds, we thought when we read the Bible, at one stage she says, oh, please give me that water. Oh, please. No, but now this time she's looking at it. This is a man without a bucket. Yeah, give me that water. Yeah. She's being a little sarcastic there. See, it wasn't until later when Jesus told her about her husbands and the man who isn't a husband, all of a sudden, oh, I perceive you're a prophet. That's when she started to get nice. So it really brings to life the written record. So what we'd like to encourage everyone to do is take the time when you watch episodes 1, 2, and 3, which you'll be able to do now in the convenience of your home, pause them after every special event and just think, what can I learn from this? For example, when Jesus spoke about Nathanael, remember, here this man came running towards him and Jesus said, here's a good man. And Nathanael, you don't even know me. How'd you come up with that? Yeah? Well, maybe he didn't say it that way. But then Jesus said, well, yes, he had special knowledge where he knew that Nathanael had some good points. Then with the woman at the well, now we really see what a hard job it was for Jesus, because she wasn't an easy person to witness to at first. Prejudice, you're a Jew. I have my own religion. And then you talking to me about water and you don't even have a bucket. This was difficult. But Jesus kept on persevering. And
you got to just settle in and think about this. This guy has managed in the span of about 45 seconds to add more character, more humor, more pizzazz to the biblical narrative than those Jesus movies that did cost millions of dollars to produce. You can see the audience is like laughing along with him. They're vibing. And as someone that has watched those things twice now, I can tell you that was watching him talk about that was more entertaining than the entire production. It's incredible to think that he was able to accomplish something for free, but the governing body decided to spend millions on it. It's so fascinating how they don't seem to get it. Now, I have the tinfoil hat close by because I do have a conspiracy, but let's jump forward to the end here, and then we'll get all the full context, the whole picture here.
We realize now, according to the first day, how long that scroll was, 24 foot long. And no chapters, no verses. So he knew the Bible really well. Have you really enjoyed the good news according to Jesus? I think we can take that answer back. We didn't waste our money. That's good.
What does he mean by, I think we can take that answer back? I don't, this could just be a Wally skill issue here. So just flame me in the comments if I'm wrong here. But the only thing that I see that meaning is that the initial question that he asked, he didn't get the response that he was looking for. He didn't get the clapping. And so now he's referencing that and saying, I think we can take that answer back. And that you guys do appreciate it now that I've basically forced you to clap. Now don't you appreciate it? Oh, okay. Whew. Thank God. That's how I'm reading the room. Again, I could be crazy here. I might be on the Wally crazy juice, but that's how I'm seeing it. And then the other thing is, he says it again. We didn't waste our money. Who's our? Well, you said earlier, the governing body. Is this a Freudian slip or not? I don't know. But he comes out and says it. That's how they view it. Our money, not the organization's money, not any of that. It's our money. How interesting. So on the case of the money, can we just ask the question? Jeffrey Jackson, Australian, Jesus drama. They built a whole city and shot everything in Australia. Why are they using blue-eyed Australians with their accents to portray people from Arab countries in Israel? They don't look anything like it. They don't sound anything like it. It's really jarring. Why would you make that creative decision? I don't know. There's no proof. There's no evidence. I'm just using little word diarrhea here. Is this some type of money laundering activity that's going on here? Is something more nefarious going on beneath the surface? Why make this drama? It really is a baffling decision by anyone that would step back and think, okay, how much is this going to cost? And what's going to be the outcome of it? We're going to have something more boring than the Bible. We're going to have something that takes longer to watch than it would to read. We're going to have no added dialogue. We're going to have people that look and sound very strange for the thing we're trying to portray. On all counts, it seems like a gigantic waste of money. Unless, I'll just keep it at unless. Anyway, tinfoil hat is off. So, Jeffrey Jackson at the 2025 Pure Worship Convention is asking the question, why are the governing body spending all of their money on this Jesus drama? And it seems like some of the audience, at least how I'm seeing it, are asking themselves the exact same question, to the point where he has to force a clap out of them. And then he gives a little preview of what the next one is going to look like. I guess we can just play that before we do the outro.
Are you the coming one? Or are we to expect a different one?
I have come to call not righteous people, but sinners to repentance.
If you just want to. You can make me clean.
Why are they doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath?
Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm? To save a life or to kill? Young man, I say to you, get up.
He has an unclean spirit.
What have we to do with you, Jesus the Nazarene?
Be silent and come out of him.
So next time someone foolishly says to you, "You people don't believe in Jesus," you say, "Have you got a couple of hours? I've got something to show you."
So don't be expecting anything new and exciting from Watchtower for years to come. I made a video about this last year, and I said this Jesus drama is literally going to ruin Jehovah's Witness conventions for years to come, because I think they said they're making 18 of these or whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But for years, like a decade of convention dramas are all going to be this exact same thing that everyone hates. Maybe not everyone, but most people don't really understand it's even the point of it. And we're meant to just sit there and think, yeah, this isn't a waste of money. Anyway, fascinating stuff. Quicker video today. That's all I got. We're just overanalyzing a clip. I am going to do a whole full video on this entire talk because it's a convoluted yet slightly interesting disaster. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Anyway, stay safe, be kind, And don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. And you better have a good-ass day. And if you're watching this right now, I might be live streaming, so come join the live stream.